Let's try looking at Buddhist philosophy through a totally different lens. For this explainer, I want you to just forget the word religion for a minute. Instead, I want you to think of this as a powerful, practical operating system for your own mind.
You know that feeling, don't you? Your brain just freezes. It's like the spinning wheel of death, but for your thoughts. You get that one anxious idea, or a frustrating memory, or maybe a cringy moment from 5 years ago, and it just plays on a loop over and over again.
And that right there, that's the mental crash. You're just stuck. You feel trapped in these same old loops of anxiety or frustration or even just this vague sense of emptiness. The whole system is lagging and it feels like you can't hit Control-Alt-Delete to get out of it.
So just to be super clear about what we're doing here, we're not exploring the religion with all the temples and the rituals. We're going back to the source. We're looking at Gautama's original source code, this incredibly practical psychological framework for debugging the human mind. Absolutely no belief required.
Every operating system, right? It's designed to solve a problem. This one is designed to solve what it calls suffering. But we really need to redefine that word, because it is probably not what you think it is.
So this OS defines suffering in a surprisingly broad way. It's not just some major disaster, like, losing your house. In this framework, suffering is any system bug. It's the mild irritation you feel when you're stuck in traffic. It's that low-grade anxiety about a work email you have to send. It's the emptiness you feel while you're scrolling. Basically, it's any time your mind just isn't at peace.
And the system runs on this really predictable script. First, an event happens. That's just raw data. Then, almost instantly, your mind creates a story about it. And that story generates an emotion. And then you act on that emotion. Now, we can't always control the event, but here's the crucial part. The story. The story is the variable. That's the piece of the code we can actually change.
Okay, so this brings us to a concept that often trips people up, samsara. I want you to forget the whole cosmic cycle of rebirth thing for a moment. Let's look at it as a psychological infinite loop that we get stuck in every single day.
These rebirths aren't about past lives. They happen moment to moment. Depending on the stories we're telling ourselves, we are constantly being reborn into different states of mind.
Have you ever gotten some critical feedback at work and suddenly your whole world just feels tight and defensive and angry? Boom! You've just reincarnated into the hell realm. It's not a place, you see. It's a state of mind, a psychological space of suffering.
Or what about this one? Think about scrolling through social media, seeing everyone's apparently perfect lives, that gnawing feeling of lack, of not being enough, of this constant nagging craving. That's the hungry ghost realm. Always hungry, never ever satisfied.
And of course it works in the other direction too. You see someone do something genuinely kind for a stranger, and just for a moment you feel open and hopeful and connected. Well, welcome to the heavenly realm. The key here is to just notice how quickly we cycle through all these states all day long.
So how does this actually work in practice? Theory's great, but let's run a case study. Let's use this operating system to debug a really common, painful life event.
Okay, on the left, you've got the buggy default flow. The event is losing a job. The story your mind immediately creates is, I'm useless. The behavior that follows is you isolate yourself, you scroll endlessly, you stop taking care of yourself. But now, look at the debugged version on the right. The story changes. It becomes, losing a job is an event. It is not a definition of my value. Now, this doesn't magically erase the pain, but it stops the story from completely hijacking your entire system. It lets you act from a place of clarity instead of panic.
So what tools does this operating system actually give us? Well, it's actually a pretty straightforward manual for system maintenance and repair.
The famous 4 Noble Truths can be seen as a classic 4-step debugging protocol. Number 1, acknowledge there's a bug, there's a problem. Number 2, find the root cause. Where is this glitch coming from? Number 3, realize that a state without the bug is actually possible. And number 4, run the program to fix it. It's just a logical, methodical process.
And step 4, running the debugger, well, that's the 8-fold path. Now, this is not a list of commandments. Think of it more like a practical anti-self-sabotage toolkit. It's really just about looking at your life and asking some simple questions. For instance, right view is just asking, am I seeing things clearly, or am I seeing them through the filter of my story? Right speech asks, are my words creating more connection or more conflict? And right effort is asking, am I focusing my energy on what helps me grow or on what just keeps me stuck? It's just a series of really practical guidelines for acting in a way that creates fewer bugs in your own system.
So the best way to see if an operating system works for you is to demo it. You don't need to install the whole thing. Let's just try a 30-day free trial with a few simple applications.
Here are 4 simple things you can try. First, when a negative feeling comes up, just label it. Say to yourself, this is suffering. Second, take one difficult moment from your day and try to separate the raw event from the story you told yourself about it. Third, just once a day, catch yourself in a habitual reaction and choose to do something, anything, different. And finally, before you go to sleep, just do a quick mental scan, just noticing what's there without any judgment.
See, this isn't about blind faith. The core spirit of this whole thing is a call for personal experimentation. The invitation is for you to be a scientist of your own mind. Try the experiment. See what your own data tells you.
Ultimately, we all live inside the maze of our own minds. This has been a very brief look at one possible map. It doesn't ask you to believe in the map maker. It only suggests that if you feel lost, well, it might be worth taking a look. The choice, as always, is yours.